We begin this morning with concerns over the U.S. economy. Dow futures are looking up slightly at this moment, but it follows a day of major losses. Just take a look at this. All three major markets fell by triple digits on Monday. As you see next to me, the Dow suffering a nearly 900-point drop, approximately 2%. The Nasdaq had its worst day since 2022, down 4%, while the S&P 500 fell more than 2% as well. And this all comes over concerns about tariffs and President Trump not ruling out a potential recession here in the U.S. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, lawmakers are scrambling to reach an agreement by Friday to avoid a partial government shutdown. The House is expected to vote on a stopgap measure later today, but right now it's unclear if Speaker Mike Johnson has the votes to get even that passed. President Trump is weighing in. He posted on his social media platform slamming a Republican holdout in the House, saying Kentucky's Thomas Massie, quote, is an automatic no vote on just about everything, despite the fact he has always voted for continuing resolutions in the past. Mr. Trump added Massie should be primaried and vowed to lead the charge against him. Now, we have team coverage on all of this for you this morning. Taurean Small is in Washington covering the looming government shutdown. But let's begin with Natalie Brand at the White House. Natalie, good morning to you. What else did the president have to say? He apparently posted at least 100 times online Monday.
Yeah, good morning, Errol. But notably, we did not see him on camera addressing the stock market concerns, although the White House kind of trying to dismiss Monday's performance, essentially in a statement saying that the markets are not the economy. I want to read from you a statement from a White House official following stocks falling sharply Monday. They said there's a strong divergence between short-term animal spirits of the market and what we're seeing unfold from businesses and business leaders, calling the latter more meaningful. The White House also pointing yesterday to announcements from U.S. companies investing in manufacturing, more manufacturing in the U.S., saying, that this is going to create jobs and spur long-term growth. But given the tariff policy and the uncertainty that businesses and consumers are feeling, that is impacting investors and bankers. Goldman Sachs actually lowered its GDP forecast. Again, no one likes this uncertainty. And given these negative economic headlines that we've seen this week, it's going to be really interesting to see and hear from President Trump today. He's scheduled to go speak to top business leaders here in the United States during a regularly scheduled business roundtable meeting here in Washington later this afternoon.
And Natalie, on the potential government shutdown, what is Mr. Trump doing beyond issuing primary threats to GOP opponents?
Well, the White House confirms that he's going to be calling or has been calling potential Republican holdouts. That's a tactic that we've seen the president use before when it comes to trying to move major legislative priorities. But it's not just, budget hardliners like Congressman Massie. House Republican leaders have to get moderates on board in terms of trying to pass this short-term spending gap with such a narrow margin. And then when you look at the Senate, Republicans also have to get some buy-in from Senate Democrats who have, slammed this CR, the short-term measure, saying that negotiations have not been bipartisan, Errol.
All right, Natalie, thank you for that. Joining us from the White House. For more on all of this, we're joined by CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small, joining us from our D.C. bureau. Taurean, good morning to you. What are you now hearing from lawmakers on the Hill about all of this?
Well, we're hearing that this is an ongoing conversation, right? Not only is the president himself leading these conversations with GOP holdouts, we're also told by a source familiar that J.D. Vance, the vice president, is set to meet with lawmakers on the Hill this morning to continue this discussion about moving forward with this CR. The problem that Republicans are facing, though, is that filibuster in the Senate. Even if Massie is the only defector on the House side, they still need the votes on the Senate side in order to get this to the president's desk. It's unlikely that any Democrat will join with Republicans in order to pass it over there. So this bill at this point could be moot, and we could be staring down this threat of a government shutdown.
And give us a reality check, Taurean, because we talk about the threat of a government shutdown, but viewers may not be specifically aware of what that entails. So what would happen if an agreement can't be reached by Friday?
Yeah, to keep it brief, disruptions, mass disruptions. It's a matter of nuisances as small as not being able to go to public parks or national parks. But then also the shuttering of federal businesses. These federal employees would be furloughed, many of them told not to work unless they're essential workers. And then ultimately, they won't be able to receive their paychecks until a bill is passed. As we've seen happen before, that means services like TSA at the airport, for example, could see agents request a mass sick off, where so many of them just decide not to show up to work because they're technically not getting paid. Now, what happened then was after a bill was signed into law, they received back pay, but it is longer wait times at airports. These are just smaller essential services that affect the everyday people, but they do have real world consequences, which is why we're seeing Democrats put forth their own CR bill in anticipation that Republicans just won't have the numbers there in the House and Senate, and ultimately they'll have to come back to the table to pass what they're calling a clean CR that doesn't include these major changes that Democrats aren't on board for.
All right, comprehensive update there, Taurean. Thank you very much.